I don't know what Miller Lite was thinking with this one. Did they take a look over at Bud Light and go, yeah, I kind of want some of that smoke? Like, this makes zero sense at all whatsoever to put this ad out there, and shout out to myth-informed Milwaukee. At least that's what they used to be called. They did some incredibly good work during the Antifa 2020 time, the summer of love. So them discovering this stuff, it's on brand for them. It's definitely on brand for them, but I was also wondering, it's like, okay, I didn't really see Miller Lite come out with this stuff, and this would be about the dumbest thing to put forward right now, so where did they dig this up? So, got the actual source video that was posted here on YouTube, and we'll watch it right from the source, but it's unlisted, but it also got put out 2 months ago. 2 months ago, the official publishing date, March 7th. Okay, so March 7th, so just about, well, Christ almighty, just about 3 months ago at this point in time. Didn't see anything at all about this ad campaign. Like, hell, even during, Bud Light's peak, it didn't get any attention at all, and it's right there on the official Miller Lite channel where they got all of their other ad campaigns, and I'll put a link to this stuff, and we'll watch it here in a second, but it's just, it's very odd. It's very odd. It's almost like they were going to go ahead and put that out there to the public because it hits all the appropriate points, and a lot of people will chime in with their brain dead takes, kind of like Liz Wheeler here, which, oh my god, these trad thoughts, man, they never stop having the worst takes possible. Yo, check this. 5 years ago, we'd be boycotting Miller Lite for this stupid feminist shit, pun fully intended. That'll make sense once we watch this. But at least they have actual women in their ad instead of simpering man cosplaying as a woman. You won't keep... See, this is why conservatives, okay, people who... Oh, fuck it, I'll just call it exactly what it is. That's why tradcons continue to lose time and fucking time again. You secede all of the ground. Oh, we won't keep that same energy because all of the chicks have the right plumbing. It doesn't matter if it's an overtly stupid feminist message, but I'll go ahead and I'll debunk that because, at least I know a couple of things on top of this other than it's just a really L ad. But Myth-informed Milwaukee does a little bit of digging into this. All light beer ads must include a lesson on gender studies. True, to improve their ESG score. Again, I don't buy into any of this fucking ESG stuff. I know what it is. I understand it, but you also have to realize that all the people that pandered to that shit, the money where that stuff comes from, all of that shit is fucking drying up. There's no more money left. All of those ghost cities that were built in China in order to capitulate to the ESG, WEF shadow people with the demon elves connections. Yeah, they can't afford any of that shit. They're bulldozing. They're demolishing all of those places. It's really fucking simple. Follow the fucking money, the actual money, instead of just this ethereal, deep state bag that's out there. No, women are 80% of the consumer base. They hold 70% of the fucking debt. So if you try to placate to women, well, guess what? That's why there's so much feminist messaging and all of this shit. All of the people that are in the marketing departments, in the human resources departments, they are all gender studies graduates. They only write, there used to be an old saying, write what you know. All these people know is a bunch of fucking revisionist history bullshit. So that's why they just crap it out onto your screen. Has anyone checked on Kid Rock? Kind of a funny follow-up. And then, so the person that we're going to see here is Ilana Glazer. Black Lives Matter, text me, got the number that's right there, got quite a few followers. Can you imagine the type of text that she has received? Yeah. So with all the preamble out the way, and I got the fancy cans on this time around, which we're also going to see some other cans that at least Miller Lite used to be, proud of putting out there on their advertisements. We'll see those in a second, but I'm going to be streaming tonight. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a live debate reaction between Rollo Tomasi and Destiny on the Fresh and Fit channel. It's going to be wild. Tune in for that one anyway, so that's why. Normally I just play through the speakers and edit it as we go. But since we're here and I got all the equipment going, let's take a look. So the ad campaign that never was from Miller Lite, bad shit to good shit, which... nothing quite hits exactly the same by just having overly crass women try to sell your product. Fucking yuck. Every dude intrinsically has that feeling in their stomach. It's like, yeah, it's kind of novel the first couple of times, when you see like an especially old lady, like whenever Betty White was around, God rest her soul, and she would crack a somewhat crass joke, that would be funny. But they're just going to say shit a whole bunch, and it's just a bunch of 4s and 3s waddling around the screen. That's like, ugh, you're already the least attractive people I could think of. And then you gotta, you know, swear on top of it. Like, fucking gross.
Here's a little known fact. Women were among the very first to brew beer ever.
Oh, wow, fantastic.
From Mesopotamia to the Middle Ages to colonial America, women were the ones doing the brewing.
Oh my god, fantastic. Yes, we was queens and shit. We did it all first.
Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer?
By showing some of the best that the female form has to offer, okay?
They put us in bikinis.
You put yourself in bikinis in order to get modeling gigs, but yo, get necked? Yo, that's what's up. Miller High Life, long necks. That's what's fantastic right there. Yo, that's a great ad, man. I miss the days of those ads.
Wow.
Oh my god, so toxic. That's okay. I seen a lot of people, you know, chiming in on this earlier. There's a Coors poster that's up there, and then there's also kind of blurry, but the rest of them, it's all Miller. So it's like, oh my god, did Coors betray? That just kind of seems like it's coincidental. Because, yeah, there's no inference that this is Coors Light related at all. They're two separate companies. Coors is owned by Labatt Molson, Molson and Labatt Coors, I think I don't fucking know. And then Miller's owned by the other side of it, and then Anheuser-Busch is its own property. So it's working its way through right now. So, okay, yeah, Anheuser-Busch had the tranny stuff. Miller had the feminist stuff. Who the fuck knows what Coors has, you know, lined up for next month.
Look at this wild. It's time beer made it up.
Yeah, look at, there used to be, you know, attractive women selling stuff. Yeah, those times are gone.
To women. So today, Miller Lite is on a mission to clean up not just their but the whole beer industry's Miller Lite has been scouring the internet for all this and buying it back so that they can turn it into good for women brewers.
Yeah, and guys who cut their own hair in order to save profits. Like, yo, take a look at that fucking cuck that was right there, okay? He's one of the good allies, and, oh, yeah, great, yeah. So, yeah, he's just sitting there with his, you know, fucking Mo Howard haircut. Fantastic.
For women brewers. Literally, good
Okay, what does this have to do with beer? Okay, so, yeah, you got a bag of fertilizer that says good shit. Oh, my God. I know I can swear quite a lot when it comes to certain videos, but... this is, it's as off-putting as it gets, but...
How, you ask? Ladies, take it away.
First, we turn the bad into compost. Then we feed compost to worms. Push out beautiful fertilizer.
Yeah, I know that women can help out on the farms, but when I say farmer, what do you normally think of? You know, some 110-pound woman? Yeah, exactly.
Good helps farmers grow quality hops,
which is then donated to women brewers to make their own really good
Yo, we got like glass and shit to put your shit in and shit.
But there's definitely more out there. In your attic, in the garage, in your parents' basement. Send any you got into
where you live, right, incel?
Miller Lite, and they'll turn that into good too. Oh, so here's to women, because without us, there would be no beer.
Bad shit we could find and turned it into good shit. Fantastic. Oh my god. If she doesn't, is that a she or a he driving? I legitimately can't tell. Is it a woman? Okay. Well, can't get the forklift started, so I would just imagine that would inevitably be a woman. But hey, man, you know, who knows, right? But it's funny. It was funny right at the end of that, and that immediately kind of piqued what you know, some stuff that I've been watching recently. And if it wasn't for women, there wouldn't be beer. Hilarious as well, because thanks to Myron from Fresh and Fit, which good tie-in on that one. He's got his Fedit channel where he's been going through recently the history of the Italian Mafia, La Cosa Nostra, organized crime, and how they really got put on the map was through bootlegging, was through the Prohibition era, you know, running illegal moonshine and illegal, you know, alcohol and shit like that. And that was due to the implementation of the 18th Amendment. And who were the ones and who were the people that were really pushing for the 18th Amendment? I think you know exactly what time it is. A wave of intense religious revivalism was swept through the United States during the 1820s and the 1830s that led to the formation of a number of prohibition movements driven by religious groups who considered alcohol, specifically drunkenness, a national curse, which is also gonna trickle through our stream that'll be going on tonight here as well. This just, I don't know, overt return to just capitulating to some busted ass religion. Like, yo, man, I don't even know where to begin. But anyways, the first temperance legislation appeared in 1838 in the form of the Massachusetts law prohibiting the sale of spirits in less than 15-gallon quantities, and it repealed 2 years later. Maine passed its first state prohibition law in 1846. Time the Civil War began, and the number of other states followed suit. So yeah, they were drunk and they were shooting. Well, they weren't drunk and they were pissed off because they couldn't find anything in order to escape the pain. And who were the ones out there in the Civil War? All right, all of the women, right? Oh, okay, cool. Here's some other propaganda from around that day. Okay, a series, of 8 etchings published in 1847 depicted the effects of alcoholism. On January 16, 1919, Nebraska became the 36th state to ratify the 18th Amendment, which was the banning of alcohol. The 18th Amendment, banning the manufacture, sale, or transportation of intoxicating liquors through Congress, which would spend the next year figuring out the technicalities before the guidelines for policing and enforcing the new reality went into effect. The era of prohibition had begun. 100 years later, experts agree that the effects were extreme. The 13-year effort for police morality can still be seen today. They failed in their aims to was repealed December 5th, 1933 via the 21st Amendment. Prohibition lives on in many ways, from cocktail culture to speedboat technology. Yes, because of, alcohol running, and then also mixed drinks, because you can't really tell if there's alcohol in it, because it looks different than what would normally be associated with just your standard types of liquor. So yeah, of course. But one of its greatest legacies is how, a century before the Me Too movement, it succeeded in making that women cared about part of the national conversation. Yeah, great. Good decision right there. Social movement behind prohibition has always been brewing since the 19th century, and the gender dynamics has always been a part of it. Men would go to the tavern, drink away mortgage money. Arguing from the point to the extremes. Fantastic. Drink away the mortgage. Drink so much that they couldn't go to work the next day, beat their wives, and abuse their children. That's what launched the beginning of the temperance movement. Well, to be fair, those are my people, the Scottish and the Irish, but whatever. And I guess another part of me as well, the natives, and then, the Ukrainians were just too stupid, and they were already sauced on, vodka wherever they were at anyway, so, got everything covered on that one. It's funny because I've never drank a drop in my life, but this isn't about me. This is about these broads who were out here. Frances Willard, later president of the Women's Christian Temperance Union, spoke of the problem in an 1874 speech known as Everybody's War. Try to fathom the unfathomable lesson of these words. A drunkard's wife. There was a war about this in America, a war of mothers and daughters, sisters and wives. She described how a man goes to a bar and loiters away his time and fritters away his earnings and then goes home to a house where he is best loved. A bitch who's complaining all the fucking time. Yo, man, there's blue-pilled simps throughout all of history. These are simps throughout time. To the best friends he has in the world, and where they love him better than they do anyone else. That's cap. Yet upon that wife that he loves so well, and little children cling around his neck, he inflicts atrocities with imagination cannot picture, and no tongues dare describe. So yeah, emotionalism led to bad legislation. Christ almighty, where have we heard that before? And then going back to the History Channel article on this about the rise of the mafia, because, that's what happens when you do shit with unintended fucking consequences. When it came to the booming bootleg business, the mafia became skilled at bribing police and politicians. Look the other way. Chicago's Al Capone emerged as the most notorious example of this phenomenon, earning an estimated $60 million annually from the bootlegging. $60 million back in the fucking 20s and 30s, bruh. And in addition to bootlegging, gambling, and prostitution reached new heights during the 1920s as well. A growing number of Americans came to blame prohibition for the widespread moral decay, and of course, see, that's what happens when you just deal with emotionalism, okay? Because anything, then you can just go ahead and shift the goalposts at a fucking whim. Oh, it was degeneracy and we need the government to step in with the 18th Amendment, and then with the 21st Amendment. Oh, oh, because of the 18th Amendment, oh, there's just all this emotional and moral decay that's going on right now. Won't God please come back into our fucking lives, Christ almighty. Idiots are just doomed to repeat the sins of the past, but oh well. Calls for prohibitions, repeal. Yeah, during the 1920s, everybody, you know, was just going to speakeasies to get drunk during the Great Depression. 1933, yeah, Congress adopted the proposing of the 21st Amendment to the Constitution, which repealed both the 18th Amendment and the Volstead Act. The revolution required states' conventions rather than state legislatures to approve the amendment, effectively reducing the process to one state, one vote referendum rather than popular vote context. And it was all brought about by a bunch of fucking quibbling, uninformed women and their simps passing it through Congress. But once again, guys, don't pay attention to what we do. Just listen to what we say, right? Because myth-informed Milwaukee, one final time, has another ad from our best girl that's out there. What the fuck's her name? Ilana Glazer. Okay, so it's funny. It's funny because, yes, we'll just go ahead and show this one real quick. It's one of these vertical videos, and I know I don't need to listen to it, but you guys can.
Who are you voting for? Are you voting early? Are you voting absentee? Are you voting in person?
Don't
like,
sexualize
make a voting
or
plan
anything like that.
today.
But make sure you vote, guys, because that's what's more important, right? It's just, yeah, without women, you wouldn't have beer, and without women and without titties, you wouldn't have votes. Yeah, cool. It's always been a contentious and a dangerous proposition to combine the two. That's why, hey, man, we repealed the 18th Amendment, but there's one right after that should also be considered. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.